Welcome to yet another video on Easy Social. In this video, we will learn about the WooCommerce integration for WhatsApp Cloud API. With this integration, you will be able to send out messages to your customer for different order status. For example, if the order is shipped, you will be able to send a different message. If the order is delivered, you can send another one. If a person abandons a cart and does not complete his purchase, so after a few hours, he can get a reminder to complete his purchase, and probably you could also give him a discount coupon. Apart from this, you will be able to upgrade the customer's WhatsApp chatbot experience by integrating WhatsApp API and your WooCommerce store together. Your customers will be able to see all the orders that they have purchased right within the WhatsApp chatbot. And not just that, and they can seek even more details about a particular order. And going a step beyond, they can in fact request a cancellation or request a return directly on WhatsApp chatbot. We will learn all of this in detail. So let's get right into the video. So in order to understand the WooCommerce integration better, we have created our WooCommerce store, and we will use this to elaborate more about this integration. And now let's go to the settings option on the right side, followed by the integrations menu. Here, scroll down to WooCommerce, click on View, click on Get Now. Here you will have an option to download a plugin. So you can download this plugin, and once this is downloaded, now head to your WooCommerce dashboard. On the left side, you will find a menu called Plugins and click on Add a new plugin. On this page, you will see an option on the top left called Upload Plugin. Click on this option. Now you have to select the file that you just downloaded. So I'll just select the zip file and click on Install Now. Wait for a moment. And now it's going to ask you to activate plugin. It's going to take a bit to process it. Now scroll down and you should be able to see the newly added plugin, WhatsApp Automation by Easy Social. So this plugin is now activated. So now the step 1 is done, and we should go towards the step 2, which is linking the shop. So we now need to enter the URL of the shop. So we'll just copy this and we'll replace it here. And now I can click on Link WooCommerce. When I click on this button, it's going to ask me to approve certain permissions, and I can only approve it if I'm logged into the WordPress panel through the admin ID. By clicking on Approve, you have given Easy Social the permission to access your WooCommerce store. Now you can see the WooCommerce account is linked to Easy Social, and you can disconnect this account at any point by clicking on the Disconnect button. On the bottom, you will see a tab which is called Events. Now this is where the magic happens. So click on Link New Event. Now here you've got different events that you can map to a particular template message. For example, when somebody places an order, so the status is going to be processing. And when somebody places this order, you want to send them a template message. So you can, kind of choose a template message. You can create different template messages for different statuses of that order. So these statuses are being fetched directly from your WooCommerce store. Now the template that we've selected has a few variables here. When we read this message, we will understand that the first variable should be mapped to the order number. So from this drop down, we will look for the order number and we will select that. The second variable should be mapped to the quantity of items. So let's scroll down and choose total number of products. And then the third variable should be linked to the amount. So we will select amount or total price. Okay, now we need to create a campaign for this. So I'll give it a name, WooCon Order Placed. Now remember, you always have to create a new campaign for this, because then it's going to be adding this particular campaign to that broadcast page on Easy Social, where you can track the statistics of delivery, read, and all those kind of status for this particular message. There's an option at the bottom called Delay. So if you enable this, you can add a delay. For example, if somebody placed an order, you instantly do not want to send that message. You want to give a delay of, let's say, 20 minutes or so. So you can simply add 20. So this is an optional setting. For now, I'll just turn it off. And then we have another option. If you want to capture data from that order right into Easy Social, you can also do that. So for example, you want to capture the name of this customer and you want to save it in a particular field, let's say name. So you can definitely do that. So it's going to transfer this particular value from your WooCommerce store and save it within the name property in Easy Social. You can also add a tag to this particular lead. You can create a new tag, let's say WooCommerce, and then you can add it here. So right now I will keep this off and then let's quickly save it. So a new event has been created for the processing status. Alright, so now let's go to our shop. I'll open this in incognito mode. I'll paste the link here. Now I'm going to purchase a particular product. Let's add this bag to cart. So it's added here. Now we'll view this cart and let's proceed to checkout. I'll add some details here. So I've added all the details here and now let's click on place order. So I've placed this order and also let's check out WordPress admin panel and we'll scroll to WooCommerce and click on orders. So we've got this order here. Okay, this is the new order worth 70 rupees. The order ID is 690. Now let's click on this order and let's wait for it to open. So here the status is showing as pending payment. Okay, so it is showing pending payment. That's because it's a cash on delivery order. However, let's assume for this example that the payment was made and automatically the order went into processing. So I'll just change the status manually to processing and I'll update it. So it takes a while to update. The order status is now updated. Let's go back to Easy Social. Let's go back to Workspace. Let's go to Broadcast. So here you can see this is a campaign which we had just created. Now as soon as we change the status to processing, this is going to trigger an event on Easy Social. And this will allow Easy Social to send a message to the customer. So here you can see the message has been sent. And here the order number is showing as 690. It is the same as the order that we had captured on the WooCommerce backend. And it has just one item. And the amount is rupees 70, is ready to be dispatched. Okay, so all of this information matches from this WooCommerce interface. So let's also check our WhatsApp. I think we've just received this message. So here you can see this message has been received. And if I go back to my broadcast campaigns, you can see the status has also been captured. One sent, one delivered, one read. Okay, so this is how you can actually set things up for WooCommerce. Going back to our WooCommerce integration, it takes a bit to load. Here you can create different event for different status. So by default, WooCommerce offers very limited status, but it is very important for any business to customize their own status. For example, if somebody has requested for cancellation, so you should be able to create a status which matches your requirement. So for this purpose, many of the businesses install different plugins, and here we have done something similar. So if I go to plugins, install plugins, here you will see we have added custom order status manager for WooCommerce. So that means you can add your own WooCommerce order status and customize it as well. So the one that I've added here on my own is cancellation requested. You can add more here. For example, let's add return requested. Okay, and now I'll publish it. Just one thing to remember here, whenever you add a new status here, it's not going to instantly reflect on Easy Social. It will take at least an hour to reflect on Easy Social. So if I go back to Easy Social here, and if I reload this page, there's a very less probability that the status would immediately appear. So if I click here, so you can't really see the status here at the moment, but within some time it's going to appear. However, this is another status which I had added earlier. It's showing here at the moment. So give it an hour or so and then this new status is going to appear. So whenever you manually or automatically change this particular status, even the new status, then you can trigger a certain message which can be set up on Easy Social integration. You can also set up abandoned cart integration. So you can choose the abandoned cart event and then you can select a particular message which could be to recover an abandoned cart. Now let's explore another feature of the WooCommerce integration, which is the broadcast feature. So here you can create a new broadcast wherein you can create filters. So let's say for example, right now is Diwali time, it's festive season. Last year, there were a lot of customers who bought a certain product from you during this particular season. So you want to target all the customers from the previous year. So for that, you can click on add more filters and then choose from order date range. And then you can choose between. Then you can choose a start date range. Let's say last year, 2023, September 15th until last year, October 31st. This is the audience who had purchased during the festive season last year, and you want to also add another filter. So now this filter is, let's say, order value. So anybody who had made a purchase from your WooCommerce store last year with an order value of greater than, let's say, 5,000 rupees. You want to focus just on this particular audience. So these are the filters that you can apply, and then you can select next and then create a new campaign, call it Diwali promotions, and choose a particular template, hit next, and then you can set a particular date and time to schedule your campaign. So this is going to really help you to find out loyal customers, and this is a great way to select and filter out certain customers whom you think are very likely to make a purchase from you even this year. So definitely try this feature out. Now let's discuss one more very intriguing feature of WooCommerce integration, and that is how you could connect your chatbot experience with your WooCommerce store. So for that, let's go to Chatbot platforms, followed by WhatsApp, then go to Chatbot Builder. Here, let's create a new chat flow. Get started. I'll call it WooCom demo. Save it. And now let's edit this chat flow. We've added some new integrations here, new nodes. So one of them is WooCom user validation. So as the name suggests, this node will help you identify if the user who is interacting with your chatbot, is he a registered user on your WooCommerce store if he is not registered, or in case there's a failure in connecting with the WooCommerce server. So let's see how you can use this. I'll create a basic message node just before this and I'll connect it here. So I'll call this welcome. Once this message goes out, I want to jump it to the next message, and here the validation is going to happen. And I'll add some nodes right below it. The first one is going to be registered user. And here I'll print a message that I'm making here is just for testing purposes. Write registered user, and here right below I'm going to say you are a registered user. and I'll also mark this as an end node. I'll duplicate this. I'll connect it to the next branch, which is not registered, and I'll just rename it as not registered. You are not a registered user. And here I will also mark it as an end node. I will now again duplicate this node and I'll link it to the last branch, and I'll rename this as error. And here in the message I'll say error connecting to the server. Okay, and again I'll mark it as an end node. Now I should just save it, and we will just test this message out. But before that, we have to ensure this is set as active. And one more thing, we should just make the first node as the start node, and quickly we will save it. And then let's go to WhatsApp, and here we will type 0. So it sends us the first message. Now it's sending our phone number and verifying it with the WooCommerce store, and WooCommerce store tells the chatbot that we are a registered user. So since we are a registered user, it went to this particular branch which says you are a registered user. Okay, and this is the message that we've got. Okay, so now let's build this chatbot experience further. So we will delete this particular node here and we will explore more nodes. So under integration, there is WooCom order list. So we'll use this particular node now. We'll link it to the first option, registered user. Once we have checked that this user is registered, we will fetch all the orders for this particular user. Here are your orders. Okay, now there's an option here at the bottom. We can filter all the orders based on a particular status. So right now I'll choose all. However, there could be different conditions where you might want to show a user just the processing orders, or maybe only the cancelled orders, or maybe the completed orders. So feel free to build your own experience and change these filters according to your requirements. Now, once we have selected this, we'll again connect another basic node right under it. And in this particular node, we'll write, great, we have got the order list. And I'll just mark this as an end node. So I'll just space this out a bit and I'll save it again, and let's go to WhatsApp again and I'll type 0. So this time again, Easy Social is going to WooCommerce store and checking if the user is already registered. It's going to show all the orders for that particular user. Now we've got this particular menu. Let's tap on view orders. So we've got 2 orders here. Let's click on 690, which is the one that we just created, and then let's click on the send button. So this is great. We are moving one step closer to get the order details. So the next obvious step would be to show the details of a particular order, right? So we will just delete this node, which was a temporary node, and we'll again go to integrations and we'll click on WooCom order details. So this node, as the name suggests, is going to help us to show a particular order's details. So this node is kind of interesting because it offers you something which other nodes don't. So if I click on a node like this one, so you're going to see lead data field drop down here. But if I click on WooCom order details, you're going to see add fields drop down. Now when I click here, I've got 2 tabs. The first tab is for the lead data fields and the second tab is for the order properties, which means I can print out all the details for that order. So let's phrase the message for this order. We'll put the status here. So in between, I'm going to just add the number of items. So total number of products, and the value I will add from order properties total price. Okay, so this looks good and we will just save this. And now let's scroll down. Here we can also give certain menu options. Okay, so these are going to be order options. I can customize the button here. So what all options can I give? Like I can give an option called get help, related to this order, and then I can navigate my user to human handover or maybe to an agent. For now I'll just use the basic message node and I'll connect it here, get help, and I'll call this we are forwarding your request to an agent, right? And we'll also mark this as an end node, and let's save this and let's try it out on WhatsApp. So again, 0 to reset. Okay, so now click on view orders. So we'll select the first order, which is order 690. When we click on the send button, we should get more details about this order now. Okay, so the order ID is 690, status is processing. You have 1 items of value ₹70 in this order. Okay, so it gives us a basic information about this order, and you can definitely customize this based on your particular requirements. And then we've got order options. So the first one is get help. So I can use this and then it's going to navigate me to my help desk. So now let's say if you wanted to add an option for cancellation of this order, how can you do that? So let's explore the options available. Now again, let's go to WooCommerce order details. Now allow cancellation is an option here, so we can turn this on. It will ask you to choose an order status. When this particular status is applied, only at that moment cancellation is possible. For example, if a person has made a payment for your particular product, but the order is still not shipped, that is the time probably you can allow cancellation. But some companies allow cancellation even during shipping. So based on your preferences, so you can enable if you want to allow cancellation during shipping or not. And after enabling this option, I still need to add a button corresponding to the cancellation option. So I need to go and add a menu option. I'll call this cancel order. This button on its own is not going to work properly. So I need to enable this option here, and in action, I want to choose cancellation. Once you choose the cancellation action, Easy Social will automatically detect if this order can be cancelled or not based on the rules that you've set above. If the order is in any other status, it's not going to show the cancellation option. If the order is in processing status, only then this particular button will be allowed. Similarly, you can also allow returns. So when you enable this option, by default, completed status is selected, which means once your order is completed, which means your order is delivered, within 7 days, the return is possible. So you're free to map this to any other status if you desire so, and you're free to choose the number of days within which a product can be returned. So again, we need to scroll down to the bottom and we need to add a button which can process this request. So we will enable this option here, and in action we will choose returns this time, and we'll call this return order. Now when you enable this option, system is automatically check for this particular action. If this order is in a particular status which matches this particular rule for returns, which is completed, only in that condition this button is going to be shown, otherwise not. Okay, so now we'll add this basic message node here under the cancel order option, and we'll say order can be cancelled. And we'll duplicate this again and we'll connect it here. And we'll again mark this as an end node and we'll save this. Now let's go back to WhatsApp and we'll choose this particular order again and we'll submit this. Okay, so now let's look at the options available. So now if you see carefully, we're getting an option to cancel, but we're not getting an option to return. The simple reason for it is that the status for this particular order is, if you check here in WooCommerce, the order number 690 is in the processing status, and this matches our rule which we had set here, which is set to processing. Only while the order is in processing status we can show cancellation, we can allow cancellation. So that is the reason why we are able to see the cancel button. However, if we go back here, it's not showing us the return button because the status is not yet marked as completed. Alright, so let's try this particular option now, cancel order, and we'll send this. Order can be cancelled. Alright, so that means this is working as expected. Now let's go back again and we'll break this connection here. So now we want to go ahead and update the status back into WooCommerce. When somebody taps on cancel order, we want to update a particular status on WooCommerce. So when I use this particular node called WooCom status update, I've got an option to choose action. So if I choose other, then I can directly apply any particular status. Okay, if I choose anything, if I apply anything, that exact same status will be applied to the WooCommerce order without any reasoning. It will just process this. However, I will not recommend this because there are times when you send a message to your customer and the customer does not read that message until a few days go by, and then he realizes that he has a message, and then he chooses that particular order and it's automatically going to change the status on your WooCom shop, and it's going to create a very chaotic situation. So it is better that you use a particular action which is meant to do a particular job. So for example, if I use cancellation action here, so then it will validate if it can actually cancel that particular order at this moment or not. So it will validate if the order is currently in processing status, only then it can go ahead and cancel it. Otherwise it will not be able to cancel it. Okay, I'll show this to you with an example. So I'll choose processing. The reason I've chosen processing is that you can only cancel an order when it is under process. If it's already delivered, there's no point cancelling the order, correct? Technically, it's going to be the same logic that you've applied in the previous node, which is WooCom order details. So here we've used processing and we're going to be using the same logic right here in the next node as well. Now the new status to apply is cancellation requested. Okay, so this is a custom status which I had created, and I'm going to map this order with this custom status now. Right below, we'll add two basic message nodes. Here you can see there are two branches. One is the green branch, which is the eligible branch, and there's another branch which is the ineligible branch. Eligible refers that this particular action has been validated and it has changed to the new status. Ineligible refers to that the validation action was not successful and it could not complete this request. And for both actions, we can set a message right here. So for the eligible option, we will write and we will mark this as an end node, and here we will write, sorry, your order can't be cancelled. Okay, and we will mark this as an end node as well. Now let's go back here. We'll go back to WhatsApp and again we'll type 0. Yes. So let's pick the first order, 690. We'll get the option to cancel order. your request to cancel order has been accepted, which means that the order status which was processing has now been updated. Let's quickly reload and check it out. Cancellation requested is the new status now. Okay, now that the order has been cancelled, let's try and still cancel it again by going back to the previous menu and clicking on cancel order and sending it. Sorry, your order cannot be cancelled because your order is already cancelled. Okay, so this is how you can totally automate the process of updating statuses on your WooCommerce store directly from your WhatsApp chatbot. In this video, we learned how easy it is to set up a WooCommerce integration with Easy Social. You can quickly set up sending messages to your customers on their different order status. You can also send messages on abandoned carts. You can build a great self-service customer experience right within your WhatsApp chatbot for your WooCommerce store. You can broadcast messages to your customers in very new and innovative ways. We believe that every WooCommerce store is built differently. They're built with different plugins, with different partners, and they have very different requirements. Although Easy Social integration is going to cover a lot of what you want to do, in case you're not able to accomplish all that you need through the Easy Social integration, worry not. You can reach out to us directly on a customer support email, and we'll be happy to understand your use case and probably give you a solution that you can quickly integrate with your existing workflow. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one.